really important that the object that I use has an identity where people have a story attached to it already. A feather has mythology of its own, and you know, some people might hate birds or be fearful of birds or be attracted to something. They have a whole bank of stuff associated with it. I'm constantly feeding on your known bank of knowledge. I design and create through making. Working on the river is amazing because you get this constant, fantastic light. I'm totally aware of the seasons and nature and the changing nature of the river all the time. And that really feeds into what I make, I think, the energy in what I make, the swirling patterns in the water and that sort of thing. I was born on a boatyard in Norfolk. My father built boats, so it feels very natural for me to be on the river. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I moved to this studio in 2005, and the big shed that is just outside here is populated by feral pigeons. And every day when I was walking to the studio, I would find, at certain times of the year, would find these discarded feathers, these molted feathers, and started picking them up and laying them out, collecting them. And after just about 2 weeks, I had like 300 feathers. And realised that they were very beautiful, but it was at the same time as bird flu. So I was sort of anxious about picking them up. Poultry farmers couldn't have their birds roaming outside, and there's all this sort of angst about feathers. So they seemed dangerous as well as beautiful. So my interest in birds started then, really. Over the period of years that I've been using pigeon feathers, for example, I have built up a connection with racing pigeon societies all over the country. So yeah, they send me envelopes full of feathers every time the birds molt. So I've got about 200 individuals who send me feathers. The pigeon piece that I really feel worked really well was sluice that came out of the floor. I made that for a show in Holland, and it came out of a disused drain pipe on the floor. And I think I really moved forward with my work with that piece. The first cabinet piece I made was Vex, which is another pigeon feather piece, and that was quite a departure for me. So of all the cabinet pieces, I would say that Gag, which is the one up here, which is made out of crow feathers, is my favourite. I try and choose titles that are bodily, have some sort of visceral, immediate sort of feeling about them. The pieces in the cabinets, as I said, are all trapped. There's no head to them. They're sort of uncomfortable and beautiful at the same time. So I'm trying constantly to create this sort of fine line between attractive and vaguely disquieting, and have them bodily, so we recognise creases and crevices, and they refer back to ourselves, but they are otherworldly. Sort of you're constantly questioning how you make it, but why is it that shape? And I recognise that, but I don't recognise it. So it's that sort of constant battle, really. As I'm making one piece of work, I'm constantly thinking, in a way, fermenting about the next piece of work that I'm making. So this meditative process that I go through whilst doing something that would take a very, very long time. I was cutting up some wings the other day to make this new piece, Corvid, and up in the trees outside the studio here, I heard this really, really loud sort of cawing, crying noise, and it was a whole host of crows up there screaming, and I was thinking, God, they know what I'm doing. I felt so guilty.